So, what does it take to put an entire country's justice system on trial? Today, we're diving into the Madlanga Commission. This is an inquiry that was born from accusations so incredibly serious, they threaten the very foundation of South Africa's democracy. Just listen to these words from a top police official, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. A real risk of a total collapse. I mean, that wasn't just some casual warning. It was an absolute bombshell that kicked off a national crisis and pretty much forced the president to act. So the big question is, what were these claims? What could possibly be so explosive that it leads to a full-blown commission of inquiry? To really get it, we've got to go back to one single pivotal moment. It all started with a press conference. Just one man standing in front of the nation, making accusations that were so explosive they just couldn't be ignored any longer. Okay, so picture this. The date is July 6, 2025. Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, who's the Provincial Police Commissioner for KwaZulu-Natal, steps up to the mics and basically puts everything on the line. He starts talking about deep-rooted corruption and interference from the very top. And the allegations themselves, wow, they were just staggering. Mkhwanazi didn't just accuse the Minister of Police of interfering. He claimed there was collusion with criminals, and this is the real kicker, that the minister deliberately shut down a special task team. And why would he do that? Well, according to Mkhwanazi, it's because that team was getting way too close to exposing a powerful syndicate of dirty politicians, cops, and prosecutors. And that's exactly why this whole thing is so much bigger than just one man's claims. These allegations, they don't just point to a bit of corruption. They put the entire concept of justice in South Africa on trial. You know, Judge Madlanga, the man who was chosen to lead this commission, he did not mince words. He called this potential rot a cancer. He warned that if these claims turn out to be true, it could spell doom for the country's rule of law. I mean, the stakes just could not be any higher. So when we say the criminal justice system, what are we really talking about? Well, to put it simply, it's the machine that's supposed to keep societies safe. It's built on a fundamental promise that the law will be applied fairly to everyone to protect good people and punish the bad guys. And this system, it really rests on three main pillars. First, you've got the police, right? They investigate the crimes. Second, you have the courts and the National Prosecuting Authority, the NPA, and their job is to make sure there's a fair trial. And third, you've got correctional services to carry out the sentences. What Mkhwanazi is alleging is that this entire structure is being rotted out from the inside. So how on earth did things get to this point? Well, when you start laying out the timeline of events, you begin to see a really, really disturbing pattern emerge. And like so many of these massive stories about corruption, this one starts with a single violent crime that ended up unraveling something far, far bigger and way more sinister. Okay, look closely at this sequence of events with me. In April 2024, an engineer gets assassinated, and a special task team starts digging. By December, they're making huge progress, linking the murder weapon to 4 other big-time killings. But then, get this, on New Year's Eve of all days, the brand new Minister of Police just abruptly shuts the team down. Gone. Just 6 months later, Mkhwanazi goes public, and the president has no choice but to create this commission. The timing, it's just impossible to ignore. But here's the most crucial part. What happened right after that? The task team was gone, but their work didn't just vanish. All of their active cases, every single lead, every shred of evidence, it was all transferred, basically putting all of those investigations on ice. And we are not talking about just a few files here. We're talking about 121 active dockets, 121 serious investigations. We're talking political assassinations here, all stopped dead in their tracks by a single order. So with stakes this high and a timeline that looks this suspicious, how in the world does the commission even begin to uncover the truth? Well, they've laid out a very clear, very methodical 3-phase plan. The first principle of the commission is absolute impartiality. I mean, in a situation where public trust has been completely shattered, they know they have to start with a totally clean slate. Their only mission is to follow the evidence, period, no matter where it leads. And the process itself is structured to be as fair as possible. In Phase 1, Mkhwanazi gets to present all his evidence. Then, in Phase 2, all the people he implicated, including the minister, get their chance to respond and face cross-examination. And finally, in Phase 3, Mkhwanazi gets to come back and reply to what they've said.
It's a thorough, transparent process designed to test every single claim from every angle.
So, what happens now? With the whole country watching, this commission is really working against the clock. The demand for answers is just palpable. It is urgent.
And they've been given a crazy tight deadline, just 3 months to produce their first report and give recommendations to the president. That timeline alone just underscores how serious this is and the immense pressure they're under to restore some public confidence.
And all of this leaves us with one final massive question. Will the findings from this commission actually be enough to heal a broken system and bring back public trust? Or will it just end up confirming everyone's worst fears, that the cancer Judge Madlanga talked about has already spread way too far?